I can prove to you right now that we are living in a simulation. I can prove to everyone who sees this video today that nothing you see is real.
Hey, Segovia, back with another one. Today's episode, we got some mysterious videos found only on TikTok. Y'all ready to have some fun today? Let's do it. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Guys, this is a bit scary. No wonder Elon Musk gave this video an exclamation mark. This is footage from a coffee shop using AI to monitor its employees. The blue text with white letters indicates each employee, and the number shows how many cups of coffee they've made. You can see that an employee named Anna is working diligently, making a total of 20 cups. Meanwhile, Olga is hiding in the corner, slacking off, and has only made 3 cups. All of this is tracked by the AI, which then reports the findings to the boss. In Amazon warehouses, similar technology is used to monitor employees. They even allow AI to generate termination notices for workers with low productivity. But it doesn't stop there. Before long, everything around us, from cars to ships to our daily lives, could fall under AI surveillance. Everything will be tracked, monitored, calculated, and analyzed. If you're wondering what AI is really capable of, well, this is your answer.
So you're trying to tell me that the Nile River ain't really over there where they said it was? The Mississippi River is the Nile River, and Upper Egypt and Lower Egypt is over here?
Yes!
Ah! Mizraim, it means the name for the land of Egypt. Upper Egypt and Lower Egypt. Ancient Egypt was here in America. Amexem, the discovery of the Sphinx of Memphis in 1912.
I'm a dancer on you, bro.
You have virtually no mounds in Africa. Therefore, the sheer number of mounds in the Americas and pyramids is a strong indication that the Americas is Mizraim, which is Egypt.
There, I said it. That's how I feel.
Morocco also means the land of God, Holy Land, or Promised Land. So having 7 Morocco place names in the Americas highly suggests that the Americas is the Holy Land of the Bible and the Old World.
You 100% right.
7 Morocco place names in the Americas, as well as 7 streams that flow out of the Mississippi River.
Bing bang.
This is the Mississippi River, and it's 7 streams, as described in the book of Isaiah.
And I want you to hold on to God's unchanging hand.
Notice the 7 streams that flow in the tongue, the mouth of the Egyptian sea. Egypt is over here in the Americas, just like Morocco, just like Israel, just like Jerusalem, Lebanon, the Red Sea. It's all over here in the Americas.
Hey, yo. I'm keeping it 100.
This is why they couldn't have people realize we always been here. North America, Central and South America, and all of the Caribbean islands, including Hawaii. They had to flip us mentally to get us to think like, y'all ain't come from here. Y'all came from somewhere else.
Fucking diabolical.
Y'all got to go back over there. Whole time we been at home. The Al-Moroccan Empire that's still standing. The people just sleep.
Do billionaires have the same water supply that you do? Of course they don't. They have their own individual springs or wells, which is different than the city water and not chemically treated in the same ways. And all of the pipes and plumbing in their house is made of 100% copper, so there's not a ton of microplastics or plastic leaching into their water. I'm a professional carpenter who's worked on multiple billionaires' houses out in Hawaii, and I always noticed that they always had completely copper plumbing throughout their whole house. Those of us who have city water have water that is treated with chemicals such as fluoride, ammonia, and chlorine, and is contaminated with things like mercury, feces, arsenic, pharmaceuticals, glyphosate, VOCs, herbicides and pesticides, aluminum, nitrates, just to name a few. But the billionaires don't deal with this, of course, because obviously the billionaires get a higher quality water source. And they're using copper, which charges the water. It treats the water, essentially. It acts as a purifier in some ways. I mean, it's antimicrobial. They use it purposely in tons of hospital settings, in different settings where they want bacteria gone. It kills bacteria within 2 hours. Copper is just a natural technology with EMF block, Wi-Fi block. It does a lot of particular things that just heightens the quality of the water. I mean, farmers use copper all the time. They put pieces of copper in their water tanks for their animals because it keeps the water from becoming stagnant. It keeps the water from getting algae in it. Also, farmers will put spiral pieces of copper into the ground and it assists in growing bigger fruit and vegetables. Tell me if you have any cool facts about copper, because I love learning more about copper.
I know I had a water heater at my other house and one of the pipes was leaking. And when the plumber came, he said they used to do copper back in the day, throughout your house. To cut costs, they started using plastics. Who knows if that's the real reason or that's what they were told. But I know when he replaced the part, he used copper. So if you get the right plumber in there to do a job, he'll probably replace it with copper.
Peace. Blessings.
So we keep hearing about all these missing people that just disappeared, and out of nowhere now Arby's has steak nuggets. People disappearing. Arby's have steak nuggets. People disappearing. Popeyes gets new chicken sandwich. More people disappear. Popeye does Don Julio collab. Arby's gets steak nuggets. You guys are eating people. And you think it's a flex, you think you're different, you're eating people. And I've been had my eyes on Arby's because your meat don't look real. Your roast beef looks like, I feel like, I'm gonna be so for real, I feel like Arby's is like a human meat store, and everybody who eats at Arby's knows that they're like cannibals and eating human meat, and that's why nobody really likes Arby's. Like, who do you know that actually goes to Arby's? Unless you're a cannibal, I bet you know a lot of people. But if you don't eat people, you're not going to Arby's. And now they come out with steak nuggets. Steak nuggets. 300,000 people missing, and you coming out with steak nuggets? You think I'm fucking dumb. Soylent Greens. You know about Soylent Greens? Because you should know about Soylent Greens, and that's the reason why we are where we are, because you guys don't educate yourself. You don't want to know about what's happening. You don't want to know the truth. But at the end of the day, those aren't steak nuggets, Boogie. You're the fucking steak. You're the fucking steak. You're missing father. You've been taking a look for your dad, huh? You might want to go to Arby's, because I think they know where your papa is. Oh. Your boyfriend went missing a couple weeks ago? Is there Arby's in your town? And it's not just Arby's. Soylent Greens, what is it? There's a company that basically fought, they put food in all the restaurants and fast food places. That's Soylent Greens. They just changed their name. Soylent Greens is making a comeback, and they're starting with the Arby's steak nuggets. Those aren't steak. It is steak. Human steak. Don't be a dumb bitch.
I can prove to you right now that we are living in a simulation. I can prove to everyone who sees this video today that nothing you see is real. I can do that with one simple question. If you are in America, have you ever seen an Asian person pumping gas? Let me know in the comment section if you've ever seen that. And I'll give you one more thing to think about that will prove this is the Matrix and we're living in a simulation. Have you ever seen a pregnant Asian woman?
Okay. No, I haven't. Either one of those. But what's just crazy is this video yesterday of the teacher that said, I've asked my high school students about conspiracies, and that was one of them. And that one blew my mind. And then this one popped up. I've never heard of this conspiracy, never heard of it. I talked about it last night, and then this pops up. And it has to do with the simulation. It was like a trip because I didn't know that's what this one was about. I just saw the first 5 seconds and I threw it on the video, right? It's my first time watching this with you guys. So it's, are we in a simulation?
Think about it and let me know in the comment section, because nothing is real.
Trust me. Watch this.
There are more witches than there are wizards and warlocks. Do you know that? Do you know why? Because women bleed all the time. Anyone that sheds blood has the ability to produce life. That is why the devil did not go after Adam. He went after Eve first. Do you know who the devil attacks in a family first? No, they lied to you. They said, oh, the devil attacks the father. No, the devil is afraid of the father. He does not come to the father first. He comes to the woman first. Because if he gets the woman, he gets the whole house. Let me prove this to you. The Bible says, he that is joined to a harlot is what? Why didn't he say he that is joined to a man is one flesh? He said he that is joined with what?
See, did you actually know when you're joined to a harlot, when you're joined to a woman that's had sex with a...
You've heard of the Mandela Effect, right? where groups of people remember certain things differently. For example, there's a group of people who swear that Fruit of the Loom always had a cornucopia, but there's another group of people, including the company themselves, who swear that it never had one. But what if no one is wrong in either scenario? What if in fact this is actually proof that we've slipped into another universe? Stick around because this explanation may just blow your mind.
Alright, it happens when it gets in the room. See it?
Did you see it?
And then back out here. Normal. Yeah. What the fuck?
So let's zoom in. Watch the EI change to an AI. Right before your very eyes. And then right back. So how is this possible and why is it even happening? So this is Max Laughlin. He's just 13 years old and considered to be one of the smartest kids alive. And when he was asked about the Mandela Effect, he gave an answer that connects memory glitches to the fabric of reality itself.
There are other universes that are next to ours, and this actually relates to my theory of the Mandela Effect and how the particle accelerator altered the weight of one electron and therefore destroyed our universe and shifted us into the universe that's directly next to it, and therefore things are different in this universe.
How did it actually change?
Well, it never changed. We changed.
Max believes that the culprit is actually CERN, or more specifically the Large Hadron Collider in Switzerland. He says that when scientists smash particles together at nearly the speed of light, then they may have ripped open reality and shifted us into a completely different timeline.
And this was, you think, when CERN Super Collider did its experiment?
A Large Hadron Collider, yeah. We thought our universe would implode, and then it didn't, and we're like, oh, it's okay. Well, maybe it did implode. We just instantly got shifted to another universe.
So what do you think? Did Pikachu always have a black tail? Did Double Stuff always have just one F? Did a cornucopia ever exist? Or are you just from another universe?
Now, motels are very labor-intensive businesses. So what they did is when a Patel took over a motel, they fired all the staff. And the family took over all the jobs, the cleaning and front desk and everything else, right? And the Patels are vegetarians. And they live a very simple life. So when a Patel took over a motel in an area, what they were able to do is they were able to undercut the prices of all the other motels in the area because they have no labor. They have no payroll. They have no workers' comp, none of those things. And so if everyone else is charging $25 a night, they're charging, $19 a night. So the occupancy was higher than everyone else. And they saved their money, and then what they would do is buy the next motel, send the nephew to run it, and then buy the next motel. And this started happening in the early 70s. And when you fast forward to today, 80% of all the motels in the US are under Patel ownership. 80%.
And he's still in the mountains controlling the whole fucking business from Sinaloa. No one really knows where he is, how he looks right now. He's been too shadowy. But the thing is, 2 or 3 of his sons were arrested in the U.S. in different occasions, right? 2013, one of his sons was arrested in Nogales, and then another one in, I think, San Diego, something like that. And that family keeps dosing both governments. They're keeping out of trouble like El Chapo, right? El Chapo got life sentence, and these 3 kids of him knowingly by the U.S. that they were trafficking and working under the biggest organization in Latin America, which is the Sinaloa Cartel. They're breaking deals with everybody. So they're in the U.S. One of them, it's actually free to go back and forth Mexico as a legal permanent resident of the U.S. The other guy just got his sentence reduced, so I think he's going to go out next month from jail. And the other guy received, they changed his whole identity, and he got like legal status to stay in the U.S. with his family and everything, and no one really know where he is. And El Mayo's still free. So when you see that,
it was water. How could that be? They were already underwater, but it was right there in front of their very eyes. What appeared to be an underwater lake at the bottom of the ocean, encircled by a beach with gentle, slow
crazy.
Only a handful of humans have ever seen this sight in person. And we now know something that makes it even more eerie. Any creature who dares to venture below the surface of that strange water never comes back. The earliest reference to an underwater lake dates back to the 1st of March 1964, and it's a tiny article barely taking up a quarter of a page, buried deep in a scientific journal. The author, a humble English oceanographer called Henry Sharnock, had found what he called anomalous bottom water, 2 kilometers under the Red Sea.
This is something crazy that's been happening with homeless people. And you don't see this in the news. You don't hear anybody talking about it. But a while back, I had this friend who is homeless, and he's been homeless for some time. Now, his problem is that he just doesn't know how to fit into society, and he's just sort of made his life on the streets. And several people tried to help him, but he just does not want to leave the streets. Well, one day I was driving and I see him out and about. I stopped and I'm like, hey, let me get you some food and let's hang out for a little bit. So he gets in the vehicle and we go and get some food. I asked him, I said, do you want to ride like downtown to the shelter? And he's like, oh, no, like I don't stay at the shelter. Bad stuff happens there. And he goes, I sleep at this one business because there's a bunch of cameras outside. And I'm like, oh, what, are you afraid of something? And he's like, yeah. He's like, there have been a series of these vans that appear in like parks, and they are like downtown, and they just show up. And he said they go up to the homeless people saying that like, hey, we can help you. We can like, give you a job or, give you a place to stay. And he said they will get in those vans and he never sees them again. And he said, like he had a couple people that he knew that had just completely disappeared. And, so I was just kind of like, maybe he's been on the street too long. Like maybe he's losing it a little bit, and he's like, no, listen, go to this park right now. And I'm like, okay. So we drive over to this park, and sure enough, parked by like kind of like an encampment of homeless people was this weird looking van. There was this bald headed guy sitting in the passenger seat with his sunglasses on. And I mean, he just looked very out of place. And this van, it was really weird because it said like something community service or something, but it didn't look like they were doing any kind of community service. And I've never heard of them before. So I was like, that's like really, really weird. And so then I ended up dropping him off for the night in front of this business where he was going to sleep. And, after that, I never heard from him again. And I haven't seen him on the streets. Like I haven't seen anyone that has gotten in touch with him. And it's almost like, I sometimes wonder, like, did he somehow disappear? And like, did something happen to him? Because I cannot find him like anywhere. So, it's just really eerie that all that stuff just perfectly transpired. And so I definitely think there is something going on.
I mean, remember that clip? It was a news broadcaster interviewing a homeless guy. It was like a big hurricane and it was all over the news, or a big storm, right? And they asked him, I don't remember what they asked him, if it was something to do with why aren't you going to a shelter or something. And then he said, like, they're eating the people, or they're killing us, something. I forgot what he said. We're gonna have to find that clip. It's an older clip. And then the news guy like cut off real quick. So maybe there's some truth to that.
Irregular shit in my life. And one of the most irregular things that I did, and I'll speak about it here. We were working in a rural part of Mexico, and this old dude comes to the door with a rifle that he shouldn't have, right? Because it's illegal to have that type of rifle that he had. And I took out the magazines, pulled all the bullets out in a bag, and I left it at the fence, and left his rifle there. Because he has daughters. And that rifle is there to defend those young daughters that might be taken to a party somewhere, which is a story that I've heard over and fucking over again.
Taken to a party?
Cartel guys showing up to a ranch, say, hey, we're going to take some of your daughters to this party. We'll bring them back. They're the guys that have guns. You have nothing because the government says that you shouldn't have a gun because somehow you having a gun fosters organized crime. So the daughters never show up. And that's a story that I've heard many times.
What
yes,
happens to them?
they're liked, so they keep them. They resist, so they shoot them, which is something we don't, again, sometimes I bring up Netflix and some of these TV series about these criminals and stuff like that. Yeah, I get it. Robin Hood is cool, getting over the government is cool and all that. I get the whole romanticize.
They are the
virgin.
government.
That's the thing, But also, some of these criminal organizations and criminal cartel members are pedophiles, and something that doesn't get talked about a lot. Some of these,
I haven't heard shit about this.
Well, some of them go into a town and say like, "Hey, I like her and her, but she's 14. She's doesn't matter." We don't hear about that, We don't hear about. We're just hearing about some of these mass graves.
This man has proof that we are being spied on by technology. Watch this, y'all.
So I was looking around my room for something to test this if my TV's watching me theory. And so I've never seen a Lego commercial.
We've all experienced
It's
this.
never been presented to me. I've seen the commercials around my son, but I've never seen ads, Lego ads or anything like that. So I played with some Legos in front of the TV. I just said the word Lego 1,000 times and was just holding it, showing it to the TV like Lego, 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 Lego. And lo and behold,
They are listening to
first
us
Lego
100%, y'all.
And of course it's Saturn.
Stay weird.
I mean, that goes back to, have you ever seen a Chinese pregnant woman, right? Like that one really affected me. I've never seen this pop up. I've been doing these videos for like a year or two now. Never seen it pop up. That was the first one. And that video yesterday wasn't even about that. She asked like 10 high school students and there was 10 different conspiracies and that was the last one. And it hit me. I was like, whoa. Like you guys even saw my reaction. You can go back and look at it yesterday. Like it hit me. I was like, what the heck? I've never seen, like it really touched me, that one. And then today this one popped up, which is kind of like crazy. It kind of tripped me out when I saw that that's what that video was about.
And is a scheme that we came up with while reading the Bible. We thought to ourselves, what if we could have a bunch of people go to the desert and pay money to do it? And that's what this is. Everyone is saying, oh my gosh, there's so much traffic. There's so much traffic. You made the roads. You made the roads in. You made the roads out. Make more roads. It's just sand, baby. You can make new roads in the sand by driving into the sand. You built the city, you didn't build the infrastructure. This was also a good way for us to say, it seems like you need the government, because when left to your own devices, it's a lot of bullshit. And so now everyone is going to Burning Man and being like, oh my God, we have no infrastructure. We can't even see past the dust. None of these drugs are getting the taste of dirt out of our mouths. Time to go back home and work our 9-to-5s. And so that's the real big point of Burning Man, is to teach you a lesson about why you need the CIA and why it's better just to work for Amazon for the rest of your life than go to the desert, take a bunch of drugs, and see a bunch of UFOs that are never going to pick you up and help you escape. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed Burning Man, and don't forget that Elon Musk owns a part of it and is making money.
You see, this is exactly why I have trust issues with mainstream archaeology. Every single time we uncover something interesting that doesn't fit into the official academic timeline of history, it's either mocked and labeled a con, or they do this. So in 2011, Russian cave explorer Arthur Zhemyukov made a wild discovery in the region of North Caucasus in Russia. At the top of the Karakoram mountain range, he found something that revealed an unwritten chapter of human history. At first, it just seemed like a deep hole leading into a cave formation inside the mountain, so he decided to check it out himself. And as he went down this narrow vertical opening, he started to notice this wasn't any regular cave shaft. On his descent, he saw massive parallel stone blocks, polished flat and perfectly geometrically aligned with each other. We're talking straight edges, right angles, and intricately chiseled formations that indicated this definitely wasn't natural, it was engineered. Him and his team explored deeper and found out that this shaft was so much much beyond our understanding than he ever thought. This is the Karahora Shaft, and I don't care what anyone says, someone, like an intelligent being, clearly made this. Inner passageways with perfectly straight, polished walls going down 40 meters into the mountain, leading into a larger chamber with 36-meter-high ceilings filled with enormous megalithic slabs fitted together and arranged in perfect alignment with each other, like they were intentionally placed there, with some blocks appearing to be up to 200 tons, and nothing can explain how anyone would have moved these stone megaliths into this narrow shaft. The total distance from the very top of the shaft down to the low.
So the Roblox CEO want to put a dating part in the game. The fuck? No. Y'all not hearing what I'm saying. This is a little kid's game. Not only that, listen to this mama. Now her child don't even know how to read, right? He didn't know what the word was or what they were saying. So he asked the mom. When she looked at the iPad, look what she said.
Why the fuck? I'm sitting here laying next to my son and he's spelling out. He's like, Mom, what does this say? I said, okay, spell it out. He's spelling it out. I'm not understanding what he's spelling. So I look over to see what the fuck he's talking about. Why the fuck I look over to my son's screen and I see this shit? That is a motherfucking naked ass character climbing onto the bed with the words at the top saying, take your clothes off.
My parents, if your kids have Roblox, delete it right now. Delete it right now. A lot of PDF files on there, if you know what I mean. These PDF files is creating counts, hoping that they can talk and interact with your kid. So if y'all don't know, in Roblox, the character allowed to go to the other character, and they allowed to be in different positions. You know what I'm saying? So these creeps will come up to your child, and they will try to be in characters. I'm just saying, y'all need to pay attention to this. If y'all not hip to it, pay attention to it. Just watch your child play this game. When they do engage with your child just might just be learning positions. They don't even know, or she don't even know. Even with the chat feature off, even with the parent control off, it's not enough. Take it off. Why you still risking it? They just don't value the child's safety like we would value our child's safety, y'all. And if you don't think it's weird, this is an app for children. And they allow 30, 50, 60-year-olds to get on, play and interact with them. Come on, man. Just think about it. These same ill people, they have the game you can rate your maturity. If their intentions wasn't that, what do you mean? Now your child gotta have a maturity level, interact with more or different characters? Let me say this. Parents, if y'all gonna take that game away from them, go hide y'all pew-pews. Go hide y'all stews. You feel me? Go hide the ropes. Go hide the lighters. Go hide whatever y'all gotta hide. Cause y'all know we've been hearing how these motherfuckers act. When you take away games, you take away computers and phones. Start there.
Yeah, I mean, I welcome the chaos. The rule of show business is if it's the first week of my album release and you are saying either my name or my album title, you're helping. And art, I have a lot of respect for people's subjective opinions on art. I'm not the art police. It's like everybody is allowed to feel exactly how they
I have this theory that majority of the population is under MK Ultra, right? It's either A, through government programming, or B, you're repeating the same patterns over and over and over and you're not aware of it at all. Some people are both. These patterns can be caused by unhealed trauma, unprocessed emotions, ways of thinking, your thinking patterns, behavioral issues. All of that can lead to the MK Ultra. Now, these people tend to have two sides to them. Two, but they are one and the same person. They are the same person, okay? I'm going to give y'all an example of something that one of my friends experienced. So she was dating this guy, and he was really sweet, nurturing, caring, giving, loving, okay? He was everything that she could imagine, right? Next thing she know, he breaks up with her out of nowhere. Shitty explanation, blindsides her, breaks up with her, okay? Couple days after breakup, she texted me, yeah, because he's telling me he loved me and he's saying this and he's saying that, but he just broke up with me out of nowhere. Why did he do that? Like, I'm so confused, right? So I had to break it down to her. He's confused. He's also confused as to why he broke up with you.
Is he? Or did he get what he wanted? That's cold-blooded, but that's the game, y'all. That's the game. Did he get what he wanted? And after he got what he wanted, he realized, like, the way she eats her food is kind of annoying. I'm out of here, right? Is that what happened, or is he MK Ultra? I don't know.
He's told you multiple times, you everything that I manifest, you everything that I wanted. But then you turn around and break up with the girl of your dreams. So I had to explain to her, his programming, his nervous system is used to chaos, is used to dealing with unhealed women, right? So you're pouring into him, you're giving him love, you're reciprocating everything that he asks for. He doesn't know how to handle that. His programming overrides his feelings for you and his feelings for himself and how he feels about himself. His programming overrides all of that. That is why he broke up with her. And days later saying, I love you. That's very confusing, right? Because he's also confused. He's also under MK Ultra, unconscious of the patterns he keeps repeating. Then she tells me that he ended up getting into another relationship. So the cycle repeats itself literally. So yes, majority of people are under MK Ultra. Y'all don't even know the cycles that y'all are repeating over and over and over and over and over. It's like not even thought of in y'all's mind because y'all are not self-aware. So yeah.
I'm gonna do some dating TikToks on my second channel. I've been there, right? I've been there where I'm like, oh, you're the perfect girl, whatever. I get what I want. I'm like, 3 days go by, I'm feeling some type of way, you know what I mean? Text her like, oh, what are you doing? Like, come chill, let's watch a movie. I'm sorry, whatever. You do it again, get the fit. Can't get over the way she eats her food, mouth all open. But with the right one, that doesn't bother you. I don't know. It's just an energy thing, y'all. I'm gonna have to get it. Let me know if you guys want to see some dating TikTok stuff on my second channel. Segovia has been through it. I was single for like 10 years, maybe 2 relationships in between there, one for like 6 months, one for a few months. So single pretty much 10 years, y'all.
She asked me, she was like, okay, so was any of this real? Like, which person is him? Which person is him? It's both. I think of it like this. You have your inner child, which is at his core, he was a lover boy. That's who he is at his core. On the other hand, you have a traumatized boy. He's acting out of his trauma. He's acting out of his programming. That's why he was confused when he broke up with her. Because that's not really what he wanted. He just allowed his programming to override everything. But deep down, he is a lover boy, right? These people are trying to get back to that. That's why there are two sides. Their core beliefs are still there. The core person is still there. They're trying to get back to that person, right? But they allow their trauma to get in the way of that. So you have to heal your traumas, y'all. You have to. This shit is ongoing. It's a journey with no destination, y'all. So yeah, that's pretty much how I look at it.
To deformation of the material.
If you eat 3 meals a day and you go to the bathroom once a day, at the end of the week, you've had 21 meals and 7 eliminations. Now, what happens to the other 14 meals? Basically, they sit in the body, they rot, and they putrefy. Food doesn't smell bad when you eat it, so it should not smell bad when you have elimination. But sometimes it smells bad when we have elimination because it's just old, dead, rotten food that's just set in the body and rotted and putrefied for so many years. So when we talk about the symptoms of a clogged colon, so many people have all of these different symptoms. We've got anemia, arthritis, bad breath, body odor, blood pressure problems. And that body odor, going back to body odor, that body odor is really something. We've got children 4 and 5 years of age now that have to use deodorant. I mean, and it's serious. These children really have to use deodorant. But it's because of their diets. It's because of the red meat and the white flour and the pork and all of the sugar that they eat. Cheese to the colon is like fly paper, and milk does not do a body good. So dairy products really are not good for us. Florence Griffin Joyner really died from complication of dairy products. 38 years old and knocked down in her prime, but her autopsy report revealed her last meal being a pizza. The cheese had not digested in her body, and all of her internal organs were full of mucus. And we've been taught all of our lives, drink all your milk. But milk does not do a body good. If you stop and think about it, we've got 5 senses, but we've got another sense, which is our 6th sense, which is common sense. And if we stop and think about it, we talk about how bad the meat is to eat, but where is the milk coming from? The milk is coming from the same cow that we're saying that don't eat red meat. Then the next symptom of a clogged colon is blood pressure problem.
You want to see? I think. See what was the last meal she ate? Pizza, right? That's what she said. It was pizza. What is that? It's a lot of fat. It's a lot of carbs. That's a bad mixture. Now, if they would have just had maybe a steak and some nice slices of cheese, it wouldn't have been bad. You can't mix the two. You can't. That's where the sickness comes. That's where the mucus comes. I believe. That's what I believe. When you mix the two, which is the standard American diet, a lot of fat and a lot of carbs and a lot of salt and a lot of sugar. Bottom line, a lot of fat and a lot of carbs. When you mix those two things, which is anything that tastes good pretty much, right? When you eat a big old ribeye, you eat that ribeye, you're okay. You don't feel bad. You feel full, but you don't feel stuffed. But then you add in that baked potato, you add in those corn tortillas with it, you add in some pasta, you add in some dessert. Oh, I'm stuffed. Whereas if you would have just ate maybe a baked potato and maybe a leaner cut of meat, like a sirloin or even a chicken breast and a baked potato, you would feel good. You wouldn't feel sick to your stomach. It's mixing the two. And when you mix the two, you overeat. That's what it is, y'all.
Fake history is, look at these two photos. This
not
is the
about
state
one
capitol
food.
building here in Olympia, Washington. We're told it was built between 1922 and 1928, and yet here it is on a map of Olympia, Washington from 1920. And look, that westernmost building isn't here anymore. It's just a parking lot now. And this is an 1890s illustration of Olympia, Washington. And most of these buildings aren't here anymore, but a few of them are. For instance, that's the old state legislative building that used to have an 8-sided clock tower on it. That clock tower burnt down in a mysterious fire, as did, I presume, most of the buildings that I'm looking at here. Because again, this isn't a fanciful illustration, I think it's a literal one. The founders came and found all of these buildings that were already here, drew them, mapped them, and if you look at this very interesting thing, see where it says Smith, DC? Whole swaths of this early map are carved up and set aside for certain families. And the Smith family is one of the most prestigious families here in Olympia, Washington. Their name's on all of these old buildings. And this is just one tiny example. Here's a much bigger example. This is the Palace of Parliament in Bucharest, Romania, the heaviest building in the world. And they said it went up in the 80s, kind of in the dead of night. Yet here's an old map, and it's on this map way before the 80s. Here it is. Like, I'm pretty sure that's fucking it right there. So again, they're all liars. All these founders, all these Freemasons, all these lawyers who tell you what the history books are. They're lying. They're lying the same way they're lying about Epstein. They're lying about everything. They blow up all this infrastructure and just sit atop the ruins, squat in all the most magnificent things they don't blow up. And the rest of us live in shit box apartments that they keep upping the rent. Like, when is this shit paid for? Again, they paid for nothing. They founded it. So they're losing control of all narratives, but I think the historical narrative is the most powerful one to wrestle back from their control. Let's put a real history together. Let's figure out who was here before us, who actually built all these amazing structures, and stop listening to the paper salesman. Anyone who has a paper accreditation, paper documents, paper history, it's all fucking fake and burnable. Stones don't lie, so listen to them.
What's that? Oh, a former Bush official came out saying that they built an underground city secretly for $21 trillion? Okay. Yeah, her name is Catherine Austin Fitts. Now, she says that it's not just your regular just tunnel with a bunch of concrete and it's just kind of plain Jane. No, she said this is a luxury city built under the United States. Okay. She said that these cities even go out under the ocean. Okay. She said that this was built specifically for the rich in case there was an extinction event for humankind. Which leads us to believe that they know something that we don't. She stated that the transportation down there is way more advanced than the transportation we have up here. Oh boy. She said that it has everything we have up here, but it's way nicer, and they even have schools, hospitals, and jails. Oh boy.
One of the most...
Now, what's annoying is we paid for that with our tax-paying money. I just left my tax lady and had to pay my usual, it was a lot. A lot. Now, that money went to that underground bunker, but when it hits the fan, we're not allowed in there. We're not allowed in there when that hits the fan. They're gonna bomb all our bridges, just like they do in the movies. When there's somebody infected in the downtown area, what do? They blow up the bridges so nobody can get over, and there's where they can get over, they got the National Guard or the Army there with guns, and if you cross that line, bang, bang. We're not invited there. Remember 9/11? They gave that speech before 9/11, and they couldn't find some type of $1 trillion. Next day, the Pentagon blows up right there. They're taking our money to build those things. And when it hits the fan, we're not allowed. That should piss you off.
companies on the planet. They're the DuPont Chemical Company.
Yeah.
That company is single-handedly responsible for modern day fashion. You say, okay, how the hell does a chemical company have to do with fashion? But the DuPont Chemical Company, which by the way is the producer of all the most poisonous, toxic chemicals on Earth, have destroyed environments endlessly, have literally poisoned people through their chemicals and their dumping and their destruction of the environment. They created and marketed polyester, nylon, and spandex. And if you don't know those materials, those are the #1 most used material for clothing on Earth right now. The only really material used, other than the one that I'm designing for these gym clothes, activewear. You know, we're fighting back against plastic clothes, and I'm designing natural versions of everything because almost 100% of everybody's gym clothes, yoga outfits, and they're just normal clothes, are made of pure chemically processed plastic, polyester, nylon, spandex. So this is my way to fight back against that.
When a baby is born, the umbilical cord and placenta are not just afterbirth. They're biological gold mines. The cord blood, it is packed with stem cells. These are the master cells that can turn any cell in the body, muscle, bone, blood, even your nerve tissues. That's why they're so valuable. Hospitals, they often call it medical waste, but behind closed doors, that waste is stored. Stem cell research is a multi-billion-dollar industry, and your baby's cord is part of that pipeline. Most parents don't realize the fine print they're signing. Those quick signatures at the hospital can transfer ownership of your child's DNA material to institutions that profit from it. Who? We're talking about the big pharma giants, the universities, the private investors. They use cord blood for patents, for treatments and experiments. But the parents, they almost never see a dime. So why does it matter? This isn't just about the money. This is about control. Linking DNA samples from birth records, build a genetic database tied to your child's bloodline. That's long-term tracking. So when people ask, what happens to the cord after birth? The real answer is it becomes property. The question is, property of who? If you want me to break down which companies are holding it and connect it to the patents, let me know in the comments.
So whenever I see videos about North Korea, is it actually just shut down and like super
eerie?
Yeah. Is it like that?
Yes. There is no freedom of movement. Yeah. So you cannot travel from town to town. You have to go to the local government. Yeah. Actually, I escaped North Korea.
Really?
Yeah. So I escaped North Korea twice. Thank you. When I first escaped North Korea, I got captured and sent back to North Korea. And I went to detention center where I was fed 150 kernels of corn per day. And I was forced to work. Yeah, there's the people who's counting those corn, 50 per meal. There's people who's doing that. To get back to your question, yes, the reason is because the video that is coming out from North Korea, those were shot by tourists, right? So where they're allowed to film, locals, they have been planted by North Korean regime to actually deceive you.
That's crazy. I would never think that
If this is
like that
legit.
still exists in this like
right in
time and age.
2025. Yeah, it actually.
Why would you put this much work into it if there's not some sort of scam going on? Here's some more.
Yeah, I mean, I see it all the time. Original price tag ripped off. Or stickers on it.
So now we're just supposed to go with the sell price here. When I get to the register and they ring up my item and I can't remember exactly how much it was, I want to look at that price tag. Unless there's some sort of a scam at the register, I really need someone to tell me what the purpose of them using so many labor hours to rip all these price tags off. It's not just Walmart, it's Target too.
You know, they're greedy with that, right? They're greedy with price gouging. But what's even worse than that, like that's bad, but what's even worse is say that shirt she looked at and that price tag was off, and I don't know if they have to sell it and they just restock so they get rid of it, right? They don't donate those clothes. For one, they throw them in the trash. But for two, there's people like me that go dumpster diving back in the day. They get scissors and cut them so you can't get them, resell them, or donate them for them, or and then now they're even locking the garbage can so you can't get in. They put a lock on the garbage can. Now that is greed at a whole new level. Like they won't even donate to like not even a thrift shop because they're gonna sell it. Like donate to, I don't know, a charity. You should be in line with a charity, and every month when you throw out all your stuff, sneakers, those food, tons of food in garbage cans. I've seen it sealed and everything. Throw it away, y'all. That's corporate greed more than price gouging, I think.
Map with me. If it's on the end of the shelf, it's probably a large corporation, and you'll end up eating it and getting so addicted that things like this start to not be questioned. If you go out to eat at any fast food place, they all serve these types of drinks. So remember, end cap, large company. Next layer, shelf mapping. You can see this company owns bottom to top, and they'll own bottom to top, left to right. What you'll begin to notice about these specific companies is they're sold at every fast food place across the entire United States of America and other countries. Now let's move one layer deeper into the mind map. There's so many different versions of butter right here. Which one do we choose? Well, this brand's insane and says they can't believe it's not butter. When in doubt, flip it about and ask yourself, well, yeah, it's just water and oil and salt and natural flavors. It's literally just 50% vegetable oil. Grocery shopping's easy. Choose the one with the least ingredients. Pistachios are a great example. Number 1 is just pistachios and sea salt. Number 2 goes to your sugar, oil, salt mix. Number 3 goes to your oil, salt, sugar mix. For instance, you're welcome to choose any potato chip, but they're all the same. It doesn't matter if they make it look healthy. There will always be a carbohydrate, which is your potato, your palm oil, and your salt. So when you begin to mind map, you can see this company owns way too much stuff. They prey on things we know, like pizza, like grilled cheese fries, actual briskets. But you'll realize the same common denominator. Some sort of potato, some sort of oil. There's a cornstarch and a salt. And to be honest, if you had to choose between pizza and Pringles, well, they don't put Red 40 in pizza. But for some reason, they put it in Pringles. You start to simplify shopping. Why does Goldfish have so much space and so many different options? They become a different version of the same thing. Remember we were looking at Pringles? Remember we were looking at the pistachios? Vegetable oils, salts, and carbohydrates mixed together. They start to market you something called entertaining pack with garlic original and everything. What that means for these companies is they bioengineer it and they add your high fructose corn syrup. And it wouldn't be food without the oil, salt, and sugar mix. This allows these companies to create and own so much of the shelf because it's predictable. People are addicted. They are going to eat it. It is designed to make you addicted. Yep. You can see these ones are made by a cereal company. And remember, cornstarches, salts, oil blends. So when you're learning to shop in a grocery store, cookies for instance, you really start to make sense. Healthy multigrain, right? Ask anybody you know that makes spread. They don't put date M in there, I guarantee you that one. Ask people where they get their natural flavors from, their modified wheat starches. It's not normal food. So let's try to make it easier by using the peanut butter as an example. Someone just grabbed this one off the shelf. If they would have flipped it around, they would have saw sugar, hydrogenated vegetable oils, and salt. This is 190 calories for additional ingredients you don't need. Also, you see how there's no oil floating on top? Owns a lot of the shelf space, owns barely any of the shelf space. 190 calories, one ingredient, oil floating on top. That's real peanut butter. So what have we learned? Company owns entire shelf from top to bottom. Companies brand themselves with movies to put food coloring in them. You can see blue, red, and yellow here, and then you go look and you can see blue, red, and yellow there. If it's sitting on an end cap, just don't eat it, because this one's carbohydrates, sugars, oils, salts, oils, sugars, oils, sugars. That's all this is. From top to bottom, it's literally just made of sugar, salts, oil, sugar, salt, oil, sugar, salt, oil. This is wild. But we can see why. So it's engineered to taste great. And honestly, I'm kind of blown away by these. I've never looked at them before. That's all these are just, it's all just sugars, oils, and salts. Look at that. That's all this thing is. You can see your vegetable oil is a perfect example, whole shelf. You look at the other oils and it's like, okay, now we have minimal shelf space available for certain brands.
Okay,
Less
I'm learning.
is always more in the grocery store. So look, when in doubt, simply flip it about and look and determine, is it a real food? Or is it a food that is combined with so many ingredients that it's going to manipulate our brain to taste like food? And then if you're really ready to open your eyes, basically any name brand is always going to have oils in it, salts in it, and sugars. Usually multiple versions of it. These are your single ingredient foods. Eat more of them.
And this just...
Yeah, so moral of the story. Single ingredient foods, like all natural, like a tomato, the outsides of the grocery store. Stay away from the inside. But if you do go on the inside, I just learned this with him. Don't get something that has a whole shelf to itself, right? Get something that this company has a whole shelf. This company just has 2 slots, 1 slot. That's probably the one you want to go with. Yeah, you're going to pay an extra $1 or 2, but that's probably the one you want to go with.
My problem. When I see things like this, I don't think it's a coincidence. I don't think that it was done unintentionally. This photo from 1985 titled Dove of Peace. Fast forward 40 years later, 1985 through 2025. Netanyahu gifts Trump with the golden dove of peace right here. You see, when you begin seeing these things and waking up and realizing some of these things, you will be looked at as crazy. But what are the odds of this being a coincidence? I'm sure if you were to plug this into some sort of calculator, it'd be less than 1%. So that just completely throws that out the window. But people are going to continue to go about the way they want to and to do the things they want to and look at things they want to because they receive not a love for the truth. Jesus Christ told us that there is nothing that is hidden that will be hidden forever. Jesus told us everything that's hidden will be revealed eventually. And we're seeing a slow revelation come about. This is nothing compared to all the things that have been hidden from the common person. Let me know your thoughts down below. Let me know what you think about this. If you think that this is a coincidence or if you think that it was all intentional. You already know my thoughts. You already know my opinions.
To be honest with you, we have been conditioned and trained and programmed to be ignorant of a lot of things pertaining to our bodies. They throw it in our faces all the time. We're water beings or stay hydrated, drink water. They tell you all these tips and stuff like that, but it's all programming. Oftentimes you find that everybody's dehydrated. I actually said it, guys. Yes, every single person you see is dehydrated, and it's a frightening sight when you really dive into it. And that's what we're going to do in this video. So follow me as I show you guys some things you need to know about your body to deliver us from a lot of ignorance. Thank you for watching. Okay, guys, so let me take you on a journey real quick. Now, let's know who we are, right? This is going to be insightful into the source of a lot of diseases. Blank space. Let's put somebody here for us real quick. This can be the eyes. Hello. Are you happy? Yeah, I'm happy. That's good. That can be the head or whatnot. But that's not the focus. We're not really focusing on how this person looks. We're focusing on the inside. So let's take this down right here. This could be the stomach. Now this connects to the small intestines. And the small intestines is just wrapping it up so beautifully, so divine. The small intestines is just wrapping up so divine. Wow. You see, the small intestines is very divine when you look at it. It's very long, but it's able to coil itself in such a way it takes up little space. So your body's very intelligent for it to do something so ingenious. So basically, the small intestines is coiling up, and then it now connects to the large intestines. Okay. A little video right here, right? And then this is the appendix. Now we're going up. All right. And this is leading, I guess, how to use this right hand stitcher out. Now, guys, let me just make it look a little better for you guys. Like there. Here, let me give you some hair. Oh, he really likes the hair. There you go, I'll give you some ears too. And I'll give you a beard. I know you like that. Alright, cool, a healthy dude, right? Now, guys, let's look at our bodies. Our bodies is a great water system. We got veins, organs, our brain, our spinal cord, everything is powered by water. Fluids are using other fluids to transport other fluids. Everything's powered by fluids. Guys, what is the source of all the water in our bodies? Let's look at it, guys. This is the source of all the water in your body. Now, I want to bring awareness to some ignorance that has to be purified. A lot of people have the bizarre belief that blood is created in the bones. And actually, the bones serve as a reserve. The bones encase fluids that your body draws upon as a reserve. And we're going to dive into that later on in this video. But basically, blood is basically created through this technology we see here. Guys, I got a lot of messages from people suffering from arthritis. I got a lot of people talking about messages about how they're weak, how they're basically suffering. Guys, blood is created through this technology. And I had a video about this. Your intestines, basically your immune system dictates what dimension, what consciousness you anchor yourself in. So, basically, this is where disease starts. Our body is primarily water-based, and through the unnatural practice of eating food. You see, eating food can be seen as a natural activity, but at its current age and time, when you look at humanity, when you look at people in public, food is no longer a natural thing. It's unnatural because of what it does to the body. Food, point blank, dehydrates the body, and it basically robs the body of its innate ability to produce its own waters.
I told my dad I was going to China, and he told me that none of it's real. Everything you see is just propaganda. Well, I'm here right now, and it is very much real. Western media will just tell you everything you see about China is propaganda because they don't want to admit how far we've fallen. But when China can build an entire 260-station metro system in less time than it takes New York City to even study if they want to build the critically important IBX, it becomes abundantly clear why American media and politicians love to demonize China. Because if China, with a significantly lower GDP per capita than the US, was able to do all of this, then why can't we do it in the States too? While China is building the world's largest high-speed rail network, the US is canceling an urgently needed tunnel under the Hudson. While China's poverty rate has fallen 88% since the late 1980s, the US has only fallen 2%. And while China no doubt still has problems, at least the government is actively working on making people's lives better. Meanwhile, the US government is actively making the average American's future as bleak as possible. It's just truly such a shame to see what America, the wealthiest country in human history, would be able to do if they invested their money back into the people, but so it goes, I guess.
You know, I kind of feel like what Trump's doing is starting to backfire on him, right? He's talking about cutting all these funds, and doesn't he know, like, your supporters use those funds too? Your supporters use EBT. Your supporters use Medicare. Your supporters use Social Security. Probably more of your supporters do. Not all your supporters are rich and wealthy countrymen out there. No, most of them are struggling. So I feel like a lot of that stuff's backfiring not only on him, but kind of exposing the whole system now. Because we thought he was going to come in and clear it out. But now that he's just part of it, it's like it amplified it more. And we see it much more clearer now. Because he was supposed to come in and take it away. So that's what we went into this expecting, but he's not. So I feel like it's just now people are looking at this with a microscope. Average Joes, regular people are.
I'm working on a new theory. I promise I'm not high. I've just been walking my dog without my headphones, and this is what's been happening. I'm calling it the excluded tools theory, okay? This is how it started in my brain. I thought, you know, a scientist could probably come up to me and convince me that they have really invented a time machine and that I'm allowed to try it out. And maybe other people tell me, yeah, we tried it. It's crazy. We went back to ancient Rome. We went back to ancient Egypt. It was amazing. And I'm like, yeah, I want to try this. I want to go. So I get into the time machine. I believe the machine. I believe the scientists. And I get out, and sure enough, I'm in ancient Rome, right? Or so I think. But all the tools that I could use to prove that this isn't actually ancient Rome are excluded from this simulation by its very nature, right? There's no GPS. I don't have access to a car. I can't drive to the edge of what could be a set to see that this is just a set. Maybe it's a set in the middle of the desert. I can't prove that. I don't have the tools. They have been excluded from this reality. So then think about present day, okay? I don't have the tools to get to the bottom of the ocean, to go to outer space. I just have to believe what people tell me is going on there because the tools have been excluded, or, you know, maybe they don't exist and maybe reality's real. That could be true. But what I'm realizing is there are so few things that I can prove, like with my own mind, body, and experience. And this is what's forming the very bottom of what I'm calling the trust stack. Okay, that's part of this theory. The trust stack is basically the very bottom is the things that you know to be true, the things that you can sense, your eyes, your ears, you know, you trust that you're conscious. And then right above that, things start to get real dicey, okay? Because right above that comes a lot of things that we can't actually prove. We trust other people, we trust books, we trust media, but that's getting real shaky, okay? The other day, I fully believed a video for like 30 seconds that a dog had brought a bear in with him through the doggy door and they were jumping on the bed. Okay, obviously that didn't really happen, but I'm just saying that's part of the trust stack. And now the trust stack is more crumbly than ever. It's always been crumbly. Don't come into my comments and be like, we can never trust the media. Like, yeah, I know, okay? That's my point. We agree. But then you think about even more abstract things like, I don't know, the stock market. You get on a Zoom call, you just trust that those are real people. But with AI getting so good and us realizing how easy it actually is to be fooled, it just has me thinking like we could be on that set, that ancient Rome set. Because how are we going to get to the edge to ever figure out that it's not real? We really couldn't do it. Does that make sense? Do you understand what I'm saying? This isn't a conspiracy theory. This is just like a thought that I had that if you could fake any reality very easily by just excluding the tools that would be needed to prove that that reality is fake. Does that make sense? Like, what is something that you believe is real but you can't prove it's real? Or what's something that you believe is fake that you can't prove is fake? Let me know in the comments.
Okay, now I got as far as the tool thing, and then I kind of zoned out, right? But you don't have the tools, but you can get those tools if you got the right amount of money, right? If you got the right amount of money, you can send a satellite to space. You can send a Tesla with the weird astronaut dude in it and put him in orbit if you got the right amount of money. You can create these things. First, you can go on a TED Talk and say, we're going to populize the world by this amount. And then you can go create some of these, and then you can go test them in Africa. Right? And then you can test them here in America. You can buy all the farmland out there and control the food if you got the right amount of money. And you don't have to know nothing about it. You can start a computer company. Still a computer company. And then go buy all the farmland to control all the food. Be the creator of these. You can have enough money and you can put a listening device that answers when you call its name, but it's always listening, and have it in every American's living room if you got the right amount of money. It ain't about having the tools. It's about having the money.
Cry for help. I'm just being 100% transparent. If come November, 3i Atlas doesn't either A, make impact on the earth and reset humanity, or B, have aliens aboard that are going to help us or harvest our organs, I genuinely do not know what I'm going to do. I have already mentally checked out of the game. So I cannot
Careful
imagine
what you wish for, girl.
how little of a fuck I will be able to produce if something doesn't happen and we have to continue to live in this reality. Again, not a cry for help. I'm genuinely concerned.
I've ended up in parties where you don't see it coming. You're just sort of there and everything seems to be okay. That crowd sort of goes off about midnight, and then the stragglers who are left, that's usually where the shit happens. And then, the drugs came out.
This was a massive looking spaceship thing. It was gold. It was thin, and it had lightning bolts beaming all around it like it was all alive. It was over the Vatican. It was over Italy in the vision. And the other one was over the temples, these Mayan-looking temple things in Mexico. But the people had signs. They had, welcome to Earth. And they had signs, and they were excited about this alien thing going on in the sky. So they were tinfoil hat people. I'm talking, had signs, and I started to laugh. Because when I saw it, I thought, that's really funny, Lord. And the Lord said, no. This is not funny. This is a great deception. And many people are going to fall for what's about to take place on the earth. They're trying to come up with an alibi. The demonic is coming up with an alibi of what happens when the rapture takes place. This is a great deception. So then, over America, I saw balls of light that were traveling at the speed of light very quick. Choo, 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 choo. And they would go into Canada, and they would go up and down the East Coast. And there was more than one. But they were the size of a little car. And they were coming out of the mothership. And the Lord kept saying, fearful sights you will see that will bring you to your knee. They will fall to their knee, Brandon. And people are going to be freaked out over what they're about to see on the earth.
Well, two things, right? One, those were happening in New Jersey, up and down the East Coast, all over, right? But a lot down the East Coast. And they were saying they're the size of a SUV. I remember they're saying the drones, right? They started calling them drones. And then two, I forgot where I was going with it. Back to the video.
How you been? Master G? Okay. I mean, is this something that I never knew?
It's the first time
growing up, I never knew this? Because for some reason...
Damn, that's Martin?
You guys look related. That's what people are saying. I mean, I don't see it. But for some reason, you guys look related. So I start to think, maybe they're cousins. Maybe they're related. Maybe. I mean, we don't know about Martin's entire life, right? We only know about him in his movies. We do not know about his personal life. But I don't know why it took me so long to notice something like this. You know why? Because I'm just living my life. I really don't have time for stuff like this. But HW always has time to do amazing things. And then there goes Master G. Martin, I missed that show. I still watch the old episodes every now and then. And you played a wonderful role in that movie Life. You really did. As far as Master G, keep doing your thing, bro. I remember you. That's what's up. Glad to see that you doing good as well. This video is for entertainment purposes only. I'm just trying to understand, where's Master G been? I haven't heard from him in a while. And Martin Lawrence. And I mean, you know, they look alike. That's what I'm saying. I don't know, guys. Let me know what you think. I'm out.
You have got to be kidding me. These guys found the entrance to the ice wall right before I was going to go and discover it for myself. And it looks like they found undiscovered land that has never been seen before by the human eye. Right out there, green land in the Antarctic Ocean. And it's just like what Admiral Byrd described when he flew over the area 100 years ago. And this brings us back yet again to this leaked drone shot photo of Antarctica, which shows a hidden civilization that no one has ever seen before, surrounded by an ice wall, but also green vegetation, which is also exactly the same thing that Admiral Byrd described when he flew over the area. And he said that there was a continent the same size as America that has never been seen before by the human race.
But strangely enough, there's left in the world today an area as big as the United States that's never been seen by a human being. And that's beyond the pole, on the other side of the South Pole, from Middle America. And I think it's quite astonishing that there should be an area as big as that unexplored. There's a tremendous there's a lot of adventure left down at the bottom of the world.
Yo, so check out the 7-year-old kid who was invited to dance at a WNBA game.
Crazy.
See, this is the type of stuff that the Democrat Party wants, which is why I cannot support them. This is an abomination and a misleading to hell. And this wasn't a thing until this guy stepped on the scene. But this is a 7-year-old boy who identifies as genderless, or his parents identify him as genderless, because, I mean, let's be honest, he has no idea of what's going on. But he's dressed up in a half shirt, a skirt, white fingernails, makeup, and a purse. Seems pretty obvious to me of what gender is being chosen here. But let's just call it for what it is, trans kid. And this is what he was invited to do.
I would be in Phoenix. Jeez.
If people can't see why voting Democrat in 2025 is a problem, then at this point, you just choosing to be blind, bro.
They say it's...
Now, I thought that was a little female, right? I was going to say, there's no way I would let my daughter go out like that at 7 years old, right? But then he said it's a boy. But, yeah, I mean, that's a touchy subject, y'all. I was going to go into it and give my thoughts and beliefs on how he blamed, like, Democrat, this is what you want, versus Republican. Like, I was going to go in on that, but I'm not, y'all. I'm going to bite my tongue this time. It's a touchy subject out there. I'm going to bite my tongue, y'all.
A demolition for Donald Trump's ballroom. But do you know what is underneath that floor of the East Wing that's been there for many years? It is a classified Cold War era bunker in case there's a nuclear strike. It is the Presidential Emergency Operations Center right below that floor. Those photos of the demolition are all online. And today the White House said to stop sharing those photos. Russia, Iran, China, they're all watching this. They see this. They already know. But now it's open in the public. So is this really for a ballroom? Who is Donald Trump really working for? And who are the contractors who are doing the demo? I want to know that.
Let me enjoy the video. Man, I have to do some editing today, y'all, because I got like 3 phone calls during this video. Just everyone wanted to call me. Had a lot to do today. And all those people that missed my call decided to call while I was doing the video today. So we'll get it clean. You guys won't even know. I shouldn't have even said anything, but I wanted to be open with y'all. So that's it, y'all. I was gonna do what I did yesterday for that 7-minute clip that everyone wanted hours. The hours were never gonna go nowhere, y'all. But anyways, I was doing it and I think it would have been fun, y'all. I think you guys would have really enjoyed it. It's something different, but it kept buffering. So I think I'm gonna call my internet and I'm gonna see, like, maybe I need a reset to refresh it, because I should have enough internet speed. If not, I'm gonna get the top internet speed, use it as a tax write-off, and then you know, hopefully we can start doing that. Even because I do want to start going live, especially on my second channel, to help it grow. So you know, make sure you guys go hit that subscribe down below. Segovia Reacts 2.0. A video is going to pop up, my latest reaction over there. Go over there. That's where I'm going to go live. I will be going live here eventually on this channel, and we're going to just scroll through TikTok, y'all. We're going to scroll through TikTok. I think it was pretty fun because when I was doing it, we were reading comments, and it was different, y'all. And I think my channel kind of has hit like a plateau. It's been at a plateau for a while. And you know, one day I'll get a 40,000 view, the next day a 20,000 view. It's just, and it's always right there in the middle. It's a plateau, y'all. So I'm thinking of trying to switch something up a little bit to see if it you know, takes me to that next level. And nobody's doing it. Nobody's doing it, y'all. So that's why I want to do it. But anyways, y'all, I'm gonna get out of here. I got 2 hours before Mama Bear gets here. I got a headache. I'm gonna try to go lay down. This is Segovia signing out of the man cave. I'll see you guys on the next one tomorrow. Later.